Yeah, how you doing? Well.
What's going on, family? We are about to get this thing going. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Yes. It's an amazing new year, right? Come on, y'all, talk to me now. I need y'all to talk to me. I need to see y'all beautiful faces. Let's get the energy in the room going. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yo. Don't be quiet on me today, people. Come on, people.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
There it is. Happy New Year. All right, so look, we're gonna be talking about we're gonna be talking about some good stuff today. I'm super excited because we're gonna be talking about attracting business, right? How serious real estate agents attract business. You know, I actually am going to do a part two. I mean, as I was preparing for it, I was looking at how much information that I had, and I'm like, it's no way I can get through all of this stuff in 2 hours. So, and for it to be effective, because I'm gonna give y'all some exercises as well as we're going through this. So I wanted to make sure that I had enough time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through, maybe the first part of it. You know, we get to that first hour, maybe give y'all a 5-minute break to go use the bathroom or something. And then we're gonna come back and we're gonna do some application. We're gonna apply, start doing some actual things that could contribute to putting you in a position to where you can begin attracting business. Because I know that all of y'all are serious real estate agents. I know that y'all are. So since I know that y'all are serious real estate agents, we're gonna be doing I'm gonna make you all aware of some strategies and techniques today that you can immediately utilize to put yourself in a position to start attracting business. All right, so before I get started, anybody got any questions before I jump into this thing? We ain't waiting on the late people no more. We just gonna get started. It's a new year, it's a new us. Ain't that right? All right, I believe y'all nodding. I believe y'all doing stuff.
More money for us.
There it is. Come on, man. Talk to me, people. Talk back to me. That's what CEO Coach Mike, man. He want to hear you. He want to see you. He want y'all to be engaged. I don't want you to be talking to black names. Hey, Valerie. I don't want to just be talking to black boxes with white text in the middle of it, man. Nobody wants that. All right. All right. So why is, you all are familiar with the term lead generation. So y'all hear and also look, I don't really have any slides. So hopefully y'all in a position where y'all can take some notes, right? That y'all have y'all journals out. Y'all can take some good notes on the things that I'm talking about. Since I don't have any slides, I do plan on making some slides for this presentation, because this is a presentation that I'm going to be taking out and presenting at other organizations and, in other circumstances as well. So you all are getting the fresh look, not even hit the presses yet. Y'all are getting the inside scoop of some things that I'm putting in place. So that's why I ain't got no slides yet, but I do plan on getting some made. All right, but with that being said, make sure you have your journals out so you can take you some good notes of everything that we're going to be discussing. Let's see. So why is lead generation, or why is attracting business important? Okay, so before I give my insight, let's go around the room. Who can answer that question? Or how would you answer that question? Why is it important?
I would say to keep your pipeline full.
Okay, keep your pipeline full. All right, that's a good one. Why else? Why is attracting business? So I'm not going to say lead generation no more. I'm just going to say attracting business. Why is attracting business important?
That's how you make your money.
That's how you make your money, Valerie? No, I make my money by showing houses, Valerie. I make my money by
You make
putting
money by
signs,
showing them.
by
I
putting.
gotta attract the business first.
Oh, okay. I make money by putting signs in the yard, or putting lock boxes on the door,
For
or
real?
going to HAR classes. That's how I make money.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be able to put signs in the yard if you don't attract business.
Okay. I give you that. I'm gonna give you that one, Valerie. You know, no flex. That's what they say. All right. Why else is attracting business? Who else? Why else is attracting business important? Come on, give me some feedback, y'all. Why you?
Well, I'm here. So attracting business helps your business not to get stagnant. Like, if no water is flowing through a pond, it's going to start just evaporating. And so you want to keep attracting business, networking, because that's what's going to keep your flow going of your income and your networking.
Okay, good. Yes. All right. Anybody else want to share why they feel attracting business is important to you achieving your results? All right. So yes, everything that everybody said is true, right? It honestly in any business, right? Because you all are entrepreneurs. In any business, the number one most important thing is attracting business. Who agrees with me? Who agrees with me that the number one most important thing is attracting business? Who agree with me? Just raise your hand. If you got your camera up, because I see I got some people driving, they traveling. All right. So we agree. What's up, David? My man David Sims hanging out with us today. All right. So we agree that attracting business is the most important thing. All right. So now here's the $1 million question, because everybody on here is a licensed real estate agent, right? And everybody on here, I know, wants to be successful. And I'm pretty sure I'm not going to go into the question of how you define success or, your definition of it, because it's all relative, but success is success and everybody wants it. All right. If attracting business is the most important thing in your success, how many of you all feel like y'all spend enough time attracting business? Uh-oh. I ain't got no hands. Where my hands? As a matter of fact, y'all started frowning. Oh, yeah. How many of y'all feel like if attracting business is the number one important thing to your success, how many of y'all feel like y'all are spending enough time attracting business? Roniel, you unmuted yourself. You about to say something?
I did. No, I was not going to say something, but I am now.
Oh.
That's why I'm here, because I got to do some more things to attract business. So I do not feel like I'm doing enough.
All right. So now, you know what, Roniel, I appreciate you sharing that with me. Now, I do want to hear from you all. Do y'all feel like the reason that you're not spending enough time attracting business is because you don't know what to do? Be honest.
For me, Michael, is getting used to the schedule is for it to become the norm.
All right. So it's not that you don't know.
Right. It's just that I have to make it a habit. And for me, I'm just speaking for myself. I always saw sales as begging. And so, the other job that I had, I was given everything and pretty much, okay, I could run with it. But now it's like I have to, my personality, it's just different factors that go into play.
Okay, good. Thank you, Roniel. I appreciate you sharing. Who else wants to, is it that you don't know what to do? Or what's preventing you from putting the amount of time that needs to be put into attracting business, since it is the most important?
Sometimes I don't know what to do. And then sometimes the things that I have done, if I don't see the results that I'm looking for, it gets a little discouraging. But for the most part, it's just a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. Look, y'all how ambiguous Nichelle took me.
Well, I'll say the, I didn't see the name of who spoke prior to me, but I'll mix what she said into what I said. So that's the everything that I'm talking about.
Okay, all right. So Michelle said it ain't just one thing. It's a gumbo of things that's stopping you from. All right. Who else? Anybody else want to share? Oh, Wendy is agreeing with you that it's a gumbo of things that's stopping her from all right, for putting the time in. Okay, all right. Well, look, guess what I'm gonna do for you today. All right, this is the thing that's within my control. I can present to you a whole, let me tell you, it was so many things that you can do to attract business that I had to split this up into a whole separate situation. So like, I'm not even gonna be able to get to everything. That's how many, and what I'm gonna present, that ain't even hit the surface of all the different ways that you can attract business. I'm not even gonna hit the surface. And even what I got to do it over 2 sessions, right? So that's what I'm gonna do today, is I'm gonna give you gonna know what you can do. All right. So now, here's the reality, my friends. Okay. I want y'all to write this down. All right. So if you got your journal, pull your journal out. I want you to write this down, because here's the reality. There are 3, we call them 3 prerequisites for change, right? We're all looking for change. We want change, right? Because we're all getting results. We just don't like the results that we're getting. 3 prerequisites for change, all right? The first thing is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you the knowledge. You going to know. I'm going to do my part. I'm going to bust my butt. I'm going to research. I'm going to grow. I'm going to learn. I'm going to tap into my resources. 20 years of this. I'm going back into the vault, out the treasure chest, pulling out all the info, all the information, and I'm laying it at y'all feet. Y'all going to have it. That's what it's going to look like. That's what it's been looking like, right? And it's going to continue to look like that. So you ain't got to guess. So that's the one thing. Get the knowledge, get the information, get the support, right? That's the one thing. All right. Here's the second thing. And when this one, I get to the back, I get to the back of the stage when these 2 come out, because it ain't got nothing to do with Coach Mike. The second thing is you got to take real action. That ain't got nothing to do with Coach Mike. Did he say take real? See, I get to the back. I get to the back of the stage. All the people get in front, because you got to take real action. They ain't got nothing to do with me. Nothing. All right. That's the second one. And then the third one, you got to focus on what you want. Oh my God. What did he just say? You got to focus on what you want. Don't focus on what you don't want. Don't focus on the fact that you ain't got nobody calling, that you ain't got no serious clients, so these people ain't talking about nothing, or it ain't consistent, it ain't flowing. Don't focus on what you don't want. You got to focus on what you want. That's another one of those things that Coach Mike ain't got nothing to do with that. Now, if you do all 3 of those things, right? Well, 2 of them, right? Because Coach Mike gonna do his part. But with what I'm going to bring to the table, if you take real action, all right, raise your hand if you will choose today to take real action. Raise your hand. Now, don't lie to me now, because look, we recording too. So that means every hand, I can come back to this video and say, man, you said, I got proof. You said you was going to
raise your hand.
Real action. I said it, right? You was going to take real action. All right. So you're going to take real action. All right. Now take your hands down. Take your hands down. All right. Because I believe you. I believe you. Did I raise my hand? I didn't raise my hand. I just figured this thing out. On Zoom, if you raise your hand in your camera, it raises your hand in real life. What?
I don't.
Yeah, my Zoom, I don't know about y'all Zoom, but my Zoom is if I raise my hand in my camera, then it automatically raises my hand. Boom, it did it. See, Laverne talking about it ain't do it that time. No, it did it. You just got to give it a moment. All right, it did it. All right, so now I got my people on camera. that said that they're choosing to take action. All right, who's choosing to focus on what they want? To only focus on what they want? Raise your hand. So we can get it on camera.
Wait, mine is not.
Well, just say I do, Brenda.
I do. You hear me talking? Because
I
mine
do
is,
it.
mine is not doing it. I do.
Your camera won't turn on?
Oh, wait, okay.
Oh, look at it. There it is.
Okay, okay.
See, now put your hand up. Put your hand up, Brenda. Oh, we can see it. Look at
You
that.
can see it? I don't know why it has to oh, okay, okay, I
Look
see.
at that. The magic of having your camera on. You can see.
Yes.
All right. Okay, so y'all have made the decisions. Y'all have this day sworn an oath for the future of your success that you are going to take action and that you are going to focus on what you want. So now let me do my part. All right. So we're going to learn today. We're going to talk about some things that you can apply, that you can put in action. All right. So when it comes to attracting business, all right, who can agree with me that it's about relationships, right? It's about relationships,
Yeah,
it's about positive relationships, right?
Yes.
When you think about sales, when you think about business, when you think about people doing business with you or people wanting to send business your way, if they don't feel like they're in a relationship of some sort with you and they feel like here's the big word, the big C word, if they feel like you don't care about them, how successful do you think that they're gonna, or how in reality, how confidently do you feel that a person would, number one, do business with you, and number two, consistently send business to you? They're not, right? So when it comes to attracting business, I really want you to approach it as, how can I become better at building and nurturing my relationships? Okay. Now, when new people come into this business, one of the first things that they feel like is that they have to go create new relationships. They have to go meet new people. They have to go get involved in new areas. They feel like they have to do all of that to build their business for new agents. And by approaching it that way, guess what you're doing? You're neglecting the relationships that are already there. That's where the gold is. That's the gold mine. Do you think you have a better chance of somebody that already knows you, likes you, and trusts you, and love you doing business with you, or somebody that don't know you from you just walk up to this person in a networking event? Which one you think, who gonna tell me? Which one feels like which one gonna give you the better chances of somebody doing business with you? The person that already know you, like you, trust you, love you, or the person you met at the networking event?
People that you already know.
Okay. Thank
You
you.
heard me?
I did, Brenda. Thank you. Yes. People that you already know. So why would we hop skip the people that are already in our phones, the people that we didn't just seen for Christmas, for New Year's, right? The people that we already go to church with, the people whose parents with us and our kids on the baseball field, right? Why would we hop skip them people? Not pay no attention to them to go find new people, right? Yeah, you got your hand up? You got a question for me?
Yeah, I do. So from what you're telling me, I gotta just relearn the whole game because okay, so for me, I done spent the last 30 years. I done spent the last 30 years. If I didn't know you, I had to get you to a point, not per se manipulate you, but get you to the point where you trust me enough to give your life. So
Okay.
The people that I already have, like the family members and stuff, they know you, they know what you're about. For me, it would take longer to convince them because they know your flaws as well as the good side of it. People you don't know, you have a chance to write the story of what you can do for them.
Mm-hmm. All right. So that's your thought process.
Okay, that's just me. That's what I
No,
thought.
no, I'm asking. So that's your thought process. That's the
Yes,
question.
because
That's the question.
okay, I'm practicing not doing military terms, but if I'm by myself, like right now, the city of Houston is all new for me. I didn't grow up in Houston, so I don't really know anybody here. So I have to meet people at events, whatever it is that we do to get around. So for me, is I have to get this person to trust me as far as business wise. And being in the military, I could be a lone soldier and then I get dropped in as a leader. I have to convince that whole unit to give their life for me. So for me, it's a little bit different. So you're telling me I gotta learn it.
So Raniel, hold on. I'm gonna put you on blast. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
You can handle it though. See, I know who I can do it to and who I can't do it to, and I know I can do it to you. All right. So first of all, we've got to say congratulations because you just retired, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and I came to the retirement party. I came to all these people that you were brought into this room. So you telling me them people that was in that room now live in Houston?
No, the only people that lived in Houston was very few. The church people, and then you, and then I think maybe anybody closer came from Dallas and stuff. But everybody came from out of town.
You got your license. You can sell stuff in Dallas.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay, so look, Rania, this is what I'm saying. All right, for real. I'm not saying don't go meet new people. I'm not saying it. What I'm saying is don't not take advantage of the people that already know you, like you, trust you, love you. Don't forsake them. Because here's the reality, Raniel. Do you believe? So now we're going to get into beliefs. Okay. Do you believe, as a top producing agent, that the only way that a person could help you is them living in the city with you?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, so since you don't believe that, then it's in your best interest to tell as many people, no matter where they live, to tell as many people, make as many people aware that you do real estate and that you could help somebody that has a real estate need in the state of Texas. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not necessarily about having to reconvince or having to repaint a story. All I'm talking about as it relates to attracting, because remember, listen to the terms that I'm attracting business, right? Meaning you want the business to come to you.
Right.
For you to attract business, it's in your best interest to make as many people as possible aware of the fact that what you can do. Does that make sense?
It does.
All right. So that's what I'm talking about as it relates to leveraging. When we're talking about leveraging the relationships that we have already, it's about, there should be nobody in your phone should not know that you do real estate. Nobody. Matter of fact, everybody in your phone, everybody go to your church, everybody that just is around you on a regular basis, your neighbors on the street, like all of them should know. Now, whether they use you or not, that's one thing, but they should at least all know that you do real estate. Is that fair?
Yes.
That's fair. Now, I'm not just talking to Ryan. Yeah, y'all, somebody else could have answered yes to that.
So would I be the crazy lady if I put my own real estate sign in my house?
No, it's your house. You can do whatever you want to do in front of your house.
Okay.
You think the HOA, because your HOA kind of crazy. You think
they are.
Your HOA gonna be like, girl, you better move that sign. No, look, I'm always a believer of what they say. Don't ask permission. What they say? Don't ask permission. Do it and apologize later. Something like that.
Yeah, it's easier to apologize than it is to ask for permission.
Yeah. I definitely subscribe to that mentality, right? So if the result that I'm looking for is to make as many people as possible aware of the fact that I do real estate, then I'm gonna do whatever it takes. You know why? Because that's how top producers think. And that's who we are, right? Raise your hand if you're a top producer. All of y'all better raise your hands. Everybody better raise their hand. You are all top producers. Top producers, a top producer is a decision. It is not based on the results. So you decide that you're a top producer. And guess what happens once you make that decision? Once you decide that you're a top producer, then what you value is going to change because you're going to begin valuing what top producers value. What becomes important to you changes. What becomes important to you is what is important to top producers. Then your beliefs are going to begin to change. What you begin to believe are the things that top producers believe. And then at that moment, your potential expands. So when your beliefs and your values and what's important, all of that changes, it shifts, then your potential expands. Once your potential expands, guess what? Then you start doing what top producers do. Ah, you see what I did? You see how I flipped that thing? Your values and beliefs line up, your potential expands, then you start doing what top producers do. You start doing the types of activities. You're going to start doing all these things that I'm going to teach you about here and January 25th. Then you're going to start doing those things. Now, guess what? Somebody tell me. Gold star for the person that can. When you start doing the things that top producers do, what do you what kind of results do you get when you start doing what top producers, the types of things that top producers, say it loud, Laverne, so they know you ain't here with me.
Top producing results.
Top producing results, yes.
Yeah.
Top producing results. And
So what are,
now, let me ask you this question then.
okay,
You don't become, if you don't decide to be a top producer, so if you don't just make that decision, right? Because the opposite of a top producer is what, a non-producer? So if you say, I'm not a top producer, that means you're saying you are a non-producer. All right. So if you decide, or you don't decide that you're a top producer, which means your values don't change, what is important doesn't change, what you believe don't change, your potential remains the same. You don't do the things that top producers do. Can you still get top producer results? I mean, I don't know. Like maybe, is it? Because that's how we act. We act like we can still get the result, even though all that other stuff is the same. I'm doing non-producing and everything else, but I can still get top producing results. What? That don't make sense, do it? Come on, people. That don't make sense. I'm not being too mean to you. I'm not being mean. Am I being too abrasive in my tone? I need to lighten it up. It's not, what am I? It's not.
No, that's true, Michael. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting different results. So you're not going to get.
Go ahead, Raniel. I don't mean to cut you out.
Oh no, I just said you're not going to get top producer results.
Right. So that's why you cannot wait until you see the results to decide that you're a top producer. You see why you can't do that? Because guess what? You will never make the decision because you will never have the results until you decide that that's who you are. Boom. Y'all don't pay me enough, see? Y'all don't pay me enough for me to be dropping these gems like that on y'all. So that's why I made everybody raise their hand, because everybody is already a top producing agent, because that's all we bring to Brooks and Davis is top producing agents. That's all we let join our tribe is top producing agents. That's what y'all are, okay? All right, so you wanna build as many positive relationships as possible. Okay, now, here's a statement. I got this from, so, you know, I'm working on a book. Yes, I'm working on writing me a book. Let's go. Write me a book, be an author. So I was looking at this masterclass, Shonda Rhimes. Y'all familiar with Shonda Rhimes? She did Grey's Anatomy. She wrote, she was the writer for Grey's Anatomy, Scandal, Bridgerton. You know, I'm gonna keep saying, I'm gonna come to your corner. Y'all familiar with them shows? All right, so Shonda Rhimes, she does an excellent job of writing. So she's done a masterclass, and her masterclass about writing, one of the pieces of advice that she gave, I can't remember which episode it was in, but it just really spoke to me. What she said was, as an encouragement to aspiring writers, she said, writers write every day. I'm gonna say that again. She said, as her advice to aspiring writers, writers write every day. So then this is what she followed it up with. So if you're not writing every day, it's okay, but don't call yourself a writer. That's what she said. It's okay. It's cool. Ain't nobody tripping. We still love you. We accept you. But don't call yourself a writer if you're not writing every day. So I was like, man, I can flip that. I can spin that. I could say real estate professionals do real estate activities every day. Real estate professionals do real estate activities every day. I'm a spin it a little bit more. Top producing agents do real estate activities every day. Top producing agents do real estate activities every day. Now, if you don't do real estate activities every day, it's cool. We love you. We ain't gonna put you out the brokerage firm. Y'all know we don't put nobody out. We ain't gonna put nobody out, right? But don't call yourself a real estate professional. It's cool if you're not doing real estate activities every day. It's okay. It's not a problem. Don't call yourself a real estate professional, because real estate professionals, everybody unmute, y'all say it with me. Real estate professionals, unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, everybody. Everybody unmute yourself, because y'all gonna say it with me. Come on, everybody. I'm waiting for everybody to unmute. Everybody. Unmute. Everybody. Now they're trying to act like they don't know how to unmute. Y'all know how to unmute. All right.
About it. All you had to pay
All right.
was just
Top. Uh-oh. All right, so top, say it with me. Say it with me on the count of 3. 1, no. Just say it after I say it. Call and repeat. Top producing agents. Y'all gonna say top producing agents.
Top producing
Agents do real estate activities
Do real estate activities
every day.
every day.
Top producing agents do real estate activities
Every day.
Every day.
every day.
Top producing agents do real estate activities
Every day.
Every day.
every day. Every day.
Every day.
Every day. All right.
Every day.
So this is what you need to be doing. I'm gonna make it like in a nutshell when it comes to attracting business. These activities, the activity, right? This is the mother of all activity. Because everything that you do when it comes to attracting business, right? Again, I can give you a list of thousands of techniques. All of them are going to achieve this one thing, this one core thing, or 2. We'll say 2. It's kind of, we'll say 2 sides of the same coin is really what it is. But we'll call it 2, just for giggles. This list of things that I can give you that you can find on Google that says, you type in how to generate leads or how to generate real estate leads, and they give you all these articles and all these tips and it's thousands of things out there, right? They all do one or of these 2 things. They make people aware that you do real estate, these different techniques. They're going to make people aware that you do real estate, and they're going to remind people that you do real estate. That's what they're going to do. So that means every day, the mother of all activities is, are you making as many people as possible aware of the fact that you do real estate, and reminding as many people as possible of the fact that you do real estate? Okay. Now there's a multitude of vehicles and tools and platforms that you can use to do it, but that's what you're doing. You're making as many people as possible aware of the fact that you do real estate, and you're reminding as many people as possible that you do real estate. That's what you're doing every day. That's what you got to be doing every day. That's what real estate professionals do every day. That's what top producing agents do every day. As many people as possible aware of the fact they do real estate. They remind as many people as possible they do real estate every single day. Right? And so, and that just kind of takes me into the touches, right? How many of y'all have I had a conversation with about daily touches and touches? Y'all familiar with that term that I use, right? You know, I've kind of said it a lot in trainings and in our coaching sessions, right? Especially in our group coaching. Look, if y'all not participating in the group coaching, you're doing yourself a disservice. Group coaching go hard, all right? We got it. What I encourage you at least do one a week. I do it like 5 times, 5 different times, 2 in the evening, 2 in the morning, I think, or 3 in the morning. You know what? 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening, and 1 in the afternoon. That just happened. I didn't even try to do that on purpose. That's just how I laid out. 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening, 1 in the afternoon, every week. Group coaching. Participate in it. It go hard. I promise you. Y'all get to hear each other's stories. Y'all get to laugh and joke with me. We talk about serious elements. Y'all get y'all some encouragement. Y'all get some direction and some guidance for specific things that y'all are currently working on. Look, it ain't nothing better. Take part in group coaching. All right, so I went on my little sidebar. All right. The coaching, group coaching, the training, I talk about daily touches, right? The reason that I call them touch, the reason that I use the word touch, let me see if anybody knows. I've explained it before, why I call it touching. Let me see if somebody can. Does anybody know why I use the term daily touch to describe out there and, you know, making and reminding people why I call it touches? Go ahead, Brenda.
You're just reminding people that you're in real estate in case they think of somebody asks them about the real estate agent, you bring them on.
Yeah, but why do I use the term touch? Who knows why I use that word?
Out to them. So you're either texting them, you're either calling them, or something like that. Happy birthday, something like that.
Yeah. We doing all of that. But why do I call it a touch? Why do I call it that?
It's an action.
Huh?
It represents action. It represents an action of making people aware.
Yes. Okay. So good. All right. So now here's this thing. Adrian, since you answered. Adrian, can you stop me? I want to touch you on your shoulder. Could you stop me from doing it? No, you can't stop me.
Do it again, but the first time it's going to be off guard. Most times, no, you cannot.
Okay, now here's my next question, Adrian. When I touch you on your shoulder, can I control how you respond?
No.
Can I control how you respond? All right. So the reason that I use the term touch is because I'm telling you to do an activity that you can control, that nobody else can stop you from doing. Nothing to do with the response, which is something that is out of your control. Let me say that again. All right. I'm giving you an activity to measure. And I'm saying this activity right here is the thing that is solely responsible for you blowing like 10x your business. How many people that you can touch on a daily basis? It's an activity, number one, that people cannot stop you from doing. There's nothing external that can control that activity, doing that activity, right? Number one. And number two, when you do that activity, right, we're not basing it on the responses, because that's something that you can't control. if I call, we got what, 1, 2, let me see how many people we got on here. We have, all right, we got 16 people on here. If I made the decision that I was gonna call all 16 of y'all, all right? Nobody could stop me. Like nobody, there's no force that could prevent me. Once I set my intention in my mind, I was gonna call all 16 of y'all. There's nothing that would stop me from doing it. Okay? That means all y'all getting called. Y'all are getting a phone call from SEO Coach Mike. Now, here are some possible responses that I could get. Okay? Some people may answer the phone. Hey, some people may not answer the phone. Some people I may be able to leave a voicemail for. Some people may call me back. Some people may shoot me a text, right? Some people may answer the phone and hang up in my face. Some people answer the phone and tell me, don't ever call me again. Some people answer the phone and say, man, I'm so glad you called me because I was just thinking about doing something in real estate. Some people may answer and say, man, I'm so glad you called because I just had a conversation with my cousin that needed something in the real estate. Some people may send you a text and say, I got a question for you, right? And on and on and on. Can you imagine how many different responses that I can come up with that could possibly happen when I make these 16 phone calls? There's a multitude of responses, right? Now, this is what I found though. Although there's a multitude of responses and who knows, I don't know what kind of responses I'm gonna get when I make these phone calls. I don't know, right? But what I found is that a lot of people won't make the phone call, not because of taking into consideration all the possible outcomes or possible responses. They don't make the phone calls because of the negative ones that I just said. They won't make the phone call because they're afraid of the rejection, or the person gonna call and say, don't call me no more, or you bothering me, or why you calling me, or hanging up in my face, or not calling you back, or not texting you back. They ignoring me. Right? So people, it impacts your behavior, it impacts your activity. But we just said attracting business is the most important thing that you could do every day. But we allow ourselves, because really, you understand that's you in your own way, right? Nobody's making you believe that that's the outcome that you're going to receive. You came to the conclusion on your own that of these 16 or 20 or 50 or whatever that you're going to touch, that these are possible negative outcomes. It's true.
Right. I'm actually on a conference right now. That's why
But
I'm
you
not able
completely
to
forget.
call. Can I call you back when I get back
I
from
can't
lunch?
mute him. Hey, David, mute yourself. I was trying to do it for you, but it won't
What is
let
your
me.
phone number?
Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
David.
518 what?
Yeah, that's not me.
No, the other day, his name David Sims. Not you, David Hawkins.
My bad. I had to answer that call. That was my
It's
fault.
all good, man. Just mute yourself, man.
All right.
I can't mute you. I guess because I don't have control. Shay got control. See, although y'all can't stop me from making them 16 phone calls, y'all can stop me from muting people. That's okay. But so that's the reason that I call it touches, is because what you need to do is you need to, if you're going to base how you feel, if you're going to base your emotions, if you're going to base your state, we'll call it state of being, right? Because that's what it is. You're throwing yourself out of the right state of being, and that's impacting your behavior. Well, if you want to have better control or have a better handle on ensuring that you're in the right state, then you can't base your state, meaning empowered, confident, excited. You can't base it on something that you can't control, meaning I can't control if a person calls me back. So I'm not going to base if I'm happy or sad or excited or not excited or encouraged or disencouraged based off of if they call me back or not. I can't control if a person has a real estate need when I call them. So since I can't control that, I'm not going to base if I'm excited, not excited, if I'm encouraged, not encouraged, if I'm confident, I'm not going to base that on that because I can't control if they have a real estate need at that moment. I can't control if they refer me. I can't control if they hang up. If they hang up in my face, because I can't control that anyway, I'm not going to base, am I encouraged, discouraged? Am I empowered, disempowered? Am I happy? Am I sad? I'm not going to base my state on that because I can't control it. Now, what can I control? How many touches I do. I reached out to 16 people. Let's go. I reached out to 20, 30, 50, 100. Let me tell you the day that I felt the best about my real estate business. I used to take bold. So if you've ever been with Keller Williams, I ain't never been with Keller Williams, but I used to do y'all stuff. I ain't never been with them, no, right? I attended bold. One of the things that Keller Williams bold does is they'll give you this bold pen. And the only way that you get the bold pen, I got one too. I got two of them because I'm an overachiever. The only way that you can get that bold pen is, I think bold is an 8-week process. So the way you get the pen is that you have to touch 100 people in one day. That's the only way you can get that pen. You got to touch 100 people in one day. Right now, they do it off the honor system, so you could go in there and lie and be like, "Yeah, I touched 100 people." So you ain't had to have no proof or nothing. But hey, you only hurting yourself if you lie. You had to touch 100 people in one day, and I did it. I touched 100 people. I don't even remember how I did it. I know I did it though because I got the pen. I touched 100 people. That day, I felt the best that I've ever felt in real estate. I felt the most fulfilled. I felt the most impactful. I felt the most effective. And it had nothing to do with the responses that the people gave me. It had nothing to do with how many leads I picked up. It had nothing to do with how much acceptance, how welcomed I was. Because you can imagine touching 100 people, you're going to get a little bit of all that. It didn't matter. Once I hit that number 100, I was like, man, I really did something today. I really achieved something today, right? I knew that I did something to really position myself for success in this business. And it had nothing to do with the results or the responses. It had everything to do with me and what I did and what I put into it on that day. That's how powerful the concept of touches is. Daily touches, it is. You want to feel better about what you're doing in this business? Forget about how many clients you have. Forget about how many closings that you've done. How many people every day are you making aware of the fact that you do real estate? And how many people are you reminding every day of the fact that you do real estate? And you let that number fuel you. If yesterday it was 20, do 25 today. If today it was 25, shoot for 35. If you hit 35, you hit 50, all right, let's shoot for 100. How many can we get? Because I can assure you, doing that, with everything being considered, it is absolutely no way that you cannot attract business if you're talking to that many people on a daily basis. It ain't, and listen, I did 100, they did 100, so that was saying a lot. But I'm not even saying do that many. Like, I'm talking about you'll be surprised how setting a goal of touching 20 people, by setting a goal of touching 20 people, what that can do for your business. You'll be surprised, all right? So, yeah, there's some other techniques, and yeah, we're going to talk about them. But at the end of the day, this is what it's about. Everything else that I'm gonna talk about is doing one or two things. It's making as many people aware as possible that you do real estate, and it's reminding as many people as possible that you do real estate. It's doing one or two things. Whether social media, whether email, whether phone calls, whether cold calling, whether door knocking, they're all doing one of two things. They're making as many people aware of the fact that you do real estate, and they're reminding as many people of the fact that you do real estate. CRM, text blast, drip campaign, it's one of them two things. So we're not gonna overcomplicate it. We're gonna start there, and then we're gonna work our way out. Because now, whether you use any of the techniques that I talk about or not, there's many things that you could come up with that accomplishes the same goals for you every day. Making as many people aware of the fact that you do real estate and reminding as many people that's already in your sphere of the fact that you do real estate. All right, so we're gonna take a 5-minute break. I'll stay on if anybody has any additional questions or anything. Let me let y'all catch our breath, because I know I threw a lot at you. Catch our breath, and then we'll jump back on here at about 1 o'clock. All right, any other questions? I mean, anybody got questions in the meantime? Y'all gonna get y'all some water, use the potty or whatever. What's up, Laverne? How was that? Was that heavy?
Oh my God, yeah, but you know what the good thing is?
What's a good thing?
It brought back memories of me doing Keller Williams.
With Keller Williams.
And I did it twice as well. And you're right, I'm so excited when I
You
reached
felt
that 100.
you felt good about it, didn't you?
But since I've been here with you, and you just reminded me again, because I made my notes for when I do my spiel in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
But all them multiple responses you get,
Mhm.
it's not.
It ain't. That's
No, they all equal to no.
they all even
And I
know.
don't know if this was part of bold, but do you remember there was a clip they played called The Power of No. That's a book.
That's a book, yeah.
And so that's usually what I remind myself.
Yeah.
Just go for the no.
Hey, look, let me tell you. So somebody gave me this advice and they were like, what you should make it a game. Make it a game to see how many no's you can get.
Exactly. And I do that with myself.
Shoot for the no.
Shoot for the no. I was in Mary Kay one time, and in Mary Kay, they had us to go out and talk to people you would never talk to. People that have a frown on their face,
Mhm.
that look like they mean.
Mhm.
Those are the people that really needed you to say hi.
Them the people.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You with me. I'm talking about Laverne. Y'all with me, man.
I wish. We can even go out, and this is one of the things I did in Mary Kay. We can even go out as a team or 2 or 3 people, just to talk to people.
Just to talk to Let me tell you, it is.
Studied in real estate.
It's over 5 million people.
People out there, yeah.
5 million people. How many more people you need?
And I just want my piece of pie.
It's all, man. It's more than enough for
It
everybody.
is. It is.
5 million people. All right.
Just need a couple hundred.
That's all you need. Now, look, you'll be surprised what a strong 50 will do for you.
Yeah,
A strong 50.
yeah, that is so true.
I've always felt, and I still believe this, everybody has the capacity to give you 4 deals a year.
Everybody.
Every person.
Okay.
Every person within a 12-month period has the ability to, and I'll say 4 leads, I won't say
Okay.
deals, has to give you 4 leads a year.
Yeah.
Right?
Because I know what I'm on my third this over the last few months. Because I have a contract I hope to be writing this month. And then hopefully one next month. But it's basically because you've been putting me to make phone calls.
Somebody got to make them phone calls, girl. I'm gonna push you to make them phone calls now.
So it's like, even if with the phone calls I'm making with Brooks and Davis, it's like I'm getting phone calls from my own business. I ain't calling them people.
Hey, you speaking to the universe. The universe.
Yeah, because I'm like, I ain't calling my own people because they just coming now because I'm making all the other phone calls.
The universe is giving you rewards for your activities. You gotta love that.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, I'm about to get started here. Anybody got any questions, man? Y'all got any questions? Anything before I jump into the next part of this shindig?
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
This has more to do with other stuff, but the MLS, isn't it good for a year, or is it every first of the year is it due? Like, or is it every December? I'm a little confused.
Okay, no worries. So you got the MLS and you got HAR. All right, and I think
Okay.
this may be what contributed to your confusion. HAR you pay every year. It's an annual membership, $479. And that's
So that's from the first payment, from your first payment, or is it every first of the year?
every first of the year.
Hmm.
No, that's different. So 469, that's your annual HA for you to be a member of the Houston Association of Realtors. All right. So now that's a separate cost than the MLS, multiple listing system. That's a quarterly payment. Every quarter, they're gonna hit you for that $111.75, I think what it is. That's a quarterly payment.
Okay.
Let's see. Rania, you got a question?
Yeah, I did, because I got confused 2 days ago. So they charged me the MLS, and the $100 is set from January to March. And I called the lady and I was like, wait a minute, I just paid for MLS Platinum. And she's like, okay. I said, so why did y'all charge me for MLS Standard? And she said, oh, no. In order to have Platinum, you got to have Standard. So I was real confused 2 days ago.
Yeah, platinum is on top of the MLS Standard. So there's other tools and resources with platinum. Yeah. So, but that's good. See, you know what y'all just did? You know what Wendy and Roniel just did for y'all? They just gave y'all a representation of the kind of stuff that we take care of in group coaching. We take care of it. You ain't got to be out here guessing. At least 4 to 5 times a week, there's a designated time slot where you can get your boy and we can deal with that and more. 1 hour a day at that time slot. So they just gave y'all an example of group coaching, even though they're trying to take over my training, but I ain't gonna let them take over my training.
I'm trying to get all your info. Yep, that's right. I'm trying to get all your info. Yep.
They're not taking it over. All right, so we're gonna go into I'm gonna go into showing you all some examples, giving you some of my take, some of my advice on different like things that we've used to attract business. I'm going to use some things that I can relate, that maybe you guys can relate to, something that we may be doing at a company level, but talking to you about how you could have used it or how you could use it to make as many people as possible aware of the fact you do business, remind as many people as possible. So I'm gonna do some of that. Then I would say in the last 20 minutes, I'm gonna give you guys an exercise for you to work on, right? All right, so now when we come back on January 25th, because again, January 25th, it's gonna there's gonna be more that I'm gonna present to you as it relates. Look at Wendy. Wendy like, I ain't gonna be here. Girl, you better be back. There's gonna be more. I only went through half of the stuff that was on my sheet as what I want to teach you on. All right. So we're gonna do some more of that. And then I'm gonna also offer, because I'm not gonna get to all of the different examples. I'm not gonna get to all of them today as well. So on the 25th, I'm gonna show you even more examples of techniques that you could use to expand to attract business. All right. All right, y'all ready? Seatbelts on. Let's go. Let's get it going. All right, Shay, you gotta let me share. You gotta let me share. Shay, I can't share my screen. I can't share my screen, people. Shay won't let me share. You gotta let me share. She God, let me see. All right, she multitasks. She on the phone too. There it is. Okay, I can share now. Ooh, I'm like, let me share, Shay, let me share. All right. Oh, you know what? Before I do that. All right, let me do this. All right, I want to do this as well, real quick. Look, if you have not set up your success in real estate machine, like you got to do it like right now. You need to set it up, because a lot of what I'm talking about and what I'm pulling from as far as these examples, they're in there, like in skill set number 1, generating leads, and more leads. All of these specific examples and ideas that I'm talking about, they're in here already. So you log in and you go to leads, and more leads. These videos, like I've done trainings and gone into super detail with a lot of, like right here, tricks of the trade. Man, I mean, that video right there has 3 ideas of ways that you could grow your business. The reality show called You. So it's filled with great information that you can apply and use in your business. So if you have not set up your Thinkific, your serum, right? If you don't know how to do it, got group coaching session tomorrow, 9:30. If you, no, it's not tomorrow. It's not 9:30 tomorrow. It's 5:30. All right. But we got that going on. If you don't know how to do it, if you have set it up already, you just haven't gone to it, well, you can go to it and you can continue the training yourself by going in there and looking at those videos as it relates to lead generation. So I just wanted to show that. I wanted to share that with you as well. All right. All right. So look, so we're finna go to, I needed to go somewhere where I could see my flyers, right? So I'm going to Facebook. All right. So now here's something that we just recently had. We had the holiday party. All right. Who came to the holiday party? Give me a shout out if you came to the holiday party. Woo, woo. All right. Holiday party.
Yeah.
I was there in spirit.
You was in spirit. Hey, we take spirits. Had a lot of spirits flowing at the holiday party. All right. So we just had the holiday party. All right. So now I've been talking about making people aware of the fact that you do real estate. Okay. So now me and Laverne were just talking about, we're in this big city, 5 million people. One of the things that Ranielle talked about was, she's just relocating and, she's got to meet new people and things like that. A very simple tactic that you could have employed was knowing that the holiday party is happening. So we had a date, we had all that, and say we're 2 weeks out for the holiday party. Okay. You could have used the holiday party as a reason to reach out to people, right? And with a simple script. Hey, hey, this is Michael. I know it's been a minute. I hadn't checked in with you, but I just wanted to personally invite you to a holiday party, right? I would love to have you be my guest. You could be my personal guest. I want to invite you to the holiday party. Our real estate, and I would make sure I put holiday party for my real estate company or for my real estate brokerage, right? You want real estate in there, right? Because you want them to be able to connect the two. You want them to connect you with real estate. So anytime that they have a thought about real estate, anytime somebody asks them a question about real estate, you want it to be immediate that they think about you. And the way that happens is through consistency, consistently having a reason to either make them aware or remind them, right? I think many people, they find it difficult with the reminding part, right? Because sometimes we feel like, well, I've told them that I do real estate, so they know already. And they're going to remember. They know. And what I can tell you, and this is 20 years of experience telling you, people don't care and they don't remember. The only way that they remember is if you just keep staying in front of them until you literally implant it in their brain to where they unconsciously, right? So now we're going to get into some coaching, until they unconsciously make the connection. See, once you get in their unconscious, then at that point, they can't shake you, right? You know what you say, you can't unsee? You can't unsee what you just saw, right? Once you get in their unconscious, they can't shake you, right? But even then, you still want to remind them as often as possible, because you don't want to leave anything up for chance. So I'd have took the holiday party, and you could have did it a number of ways. You could have sent text messages out. And again, hey, my real estate company, you could have did like this. Hey, I want a person, this is Mike. I want a person to invite you to our real estate event. And then at the bottom of the text, put Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, put your information, real estate agent. You could have did it that way. However, the point is you have something of value to tell people about. And I believe that also contributes to you all's apprehensions, is because you feel, listen to the words that I'm using, you feel like you're bothering them. You feel like you're wasting their time, right? You feel that. So because that's how you feel, that's why you're not taking action. Or if you are taking action, you're not taking action at 157%. You're kind of tiptoeing into the action. You're not all in into the action because of how you feel. And that's okay, because for those of you all that have made it to that portion of the coaching with me, you understand that feelings and emotions are in the unconscious, right? We know that that's there, and they impact our internal representation, and our internal representation impacts our state, and out of our state flows our behavior, and based on our behavior, it determines our results, right? We know how all that works. So we got to deal with the feelings and how the feelings impact things. So when you have something, you have the holiday party, and that's valuable. Like, people, who wouldn't want to come hang out? Who wouldn't want to come? They ain't paying for it. Who wouldn't want to come grab a drink? Who wouldn't want to come get a bite to eat? Who wouldn't want to have a reason to get dressed up and come hang out? Who wouldn't want to do that? And so now you, which are inviting them, giving them an opportunity, like you're literally giving them a gift. I'm providing something of value. Here is something for you and your wife or husband. Y'all can come and to celebrate the holidays, right? Get you out the house. Everything's paid for. And I'm the reason that you can even come to it, right? Imagine if you did that for 100 people or 200 people or 300 people. We're talking about in 2 weeks, the marketing was going out for the holiday party. Imagine if you 1,000 people that all you did was invite. Not that they came. We don't care if none of them come, right? But if 1,000 people heard from you with an invitation, you having something to offer them that they could participate in that they did not know about, didn't know it existed or anything. How would that have impacted your first quarter, just your first quarter of 2023, if you'd have reached out to 1,000 people to just personally invite to the holiday party? All right, give me some feedback. Somebody that's imagined what that world would have looked like if they'd have did that activity. How do you feel like it would have impacted your business going into this new year? Just that one idea. Don't be shy, y'all. I don't know why y'all acting like that. I mean, y'all can be like, I don't think it would have did nothing for me, Coach Mike. Y'all can say that too. How do you think it would have impacted your business?
What was the question?
You should have been listening. I'm just playing.
I just walked in the door. I had to use the restroom, if that's okay. Thank you. I didn't want to take y'all with me, but I will next time since I got to listen.
So what I said, Adrian, was, you know, if a person had reached 1,000 people about the holiday and personally invited them to the holiday party, how would that have impacted their business going into the new year? How could they imagine that their business would have been impacted? That was the question.
I think that would have given 1,000 people more knowledge about not only you personally being in real estate, it also would have given them a time to have some type of activity to enjoy and to be a reminder on constantly that, man, I went with Adrian or with Wendy and they had a great holiday party. They do real estate. The brokerage is good. It would have given them a great impact. And as when we just send out a text or a call, that always kind of goes out. But if you give someone an experience, it's hard to forget an experience. And so I think that it could have greatly impacted the business.
Absolutely. And you know, when we talked earlier about, you know, real estate top producing agents doing real estate activities every day, right? Top producing agents, and you all know this, man. I mean, y'all seen it in workshops and y'all read it in books, the things that top producing agents do. You know, they do holiday parties for their clients. They do client appreciation stuff.
Yeah.
Y'all know they do that, right? So that's all the holiday party is. It's a client appreciation event that you didn't have to pay for, right? It's a client appreciation event and you ain't have to put nothing on it. Come on now. So now imagine you going to your prospects, your clients, your people in your pipeline. You doing what top producing agents do. That's why I made all y'all raise your hands, because y'all are already doing, y'all already have the potential. Here we go. Y'all have the potential, that the same potential that top producing agents have. The holiday party is just one example of it. A client event that you can reach out and touch your database, your sphere of influence. You offer them that. And what it does is it puts you in a particular light. We talk a lot about branding, right? The brand. I want to get my brand, right?
Yeah.
That's a big shot in the arm for your brand. When you can go to somebody and say, hey, we got this client event I want to personally invite you to as a celebration of the success that we've had this year. Imagine how that looks for your brand, to your people, the people that matter, right? So that's one example, right? Now here we go. That was the holiday party. Now you can use the same concept. Now remember, what are we talking about? We're only going to be talking about things, activities that do one of two things: either make as many people as possible aware or remind as many people, right? So even with that holiday party, everybody that you know, you tell everybody that you know, invite them to the holiday party. That's reminding everybody that you know that you do real estate. That's reminding them. Or you can say, look, like Roniel, I need to meet new people. All right, I need to go meet 100 new people. All right, so I'm gonna go tell 100 new people about this holiday party and invite. They do both, right? Depending on how you use it, how you leverage it. All right, so that was the holiday party. Now, guess what? Guess what? Guess what?
What?
What? I was gonna say, nobody gonna say what? Guess what? Another thing that you can do that with is the pre-home buy session. Raise your hand if you ever invited somebody. Not that they came, not just somebody that you thought was smart, that you just invited somebody.
Yeah.
Pre-home buy session that we do every month. Raise your hand if you've invited somebody. And raise your hand. You've invited somebody to the pre-home buy. So what my pre-home buy session flyer? That's what I'm looking for. Come on, Michael. There it is. All right. Pre-home buyer session. We do the pre-home buyer session every month. Somebody, you know what? Somebody tell me why we do the pre-home buyer session every month. Who's gonna tell me why we do that every month?
I would say to educate our potential customers to become our clients.
Okay. Okay. Good. 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 Who else? Who else wants to take a stab at why we do the pre-home buyer session every month?
To attract business. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think it says it on the flyer just to let them know, like if they're ready to give them an idea if they're ready to buy a house or not, basically.
Okay. Absolutely. That's
Answer.
good. That's good. I think somebody, what did you say something, Adrian?
I was saying to attract business.
To attract
Our company, let them know that we're not. Oh, yes. And so to bring them in.
to attract business, people. We do the home buyer session every month to attract business. Listen, we can educate with an initial buyer consultation. We can educate over the phone, right? Then people ain't got to come to our office to get, if a person, and y'all better not be waiting. If you got somebody reach out to you and they say that they interested in buying a house, y'all better not, don't be waiting to the pre-home buyer session. Y'all better be trying to get on the phone with them and schedule an initial buyer consultation. If you knew, you better be trying to get with your mentor or calling that Coach Mike and say, look, I got somebody that say they interested. What do I need to do? We trying to educate and deal with that immediately, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pre-home buyer session once a month to attract business, right? To touch those individuals that, you know, this may be a shock to you, but people aren't out here just excited about telling you that they looking for a house or that they thinking about selling their house. They're not tripping over themselves to make you aware of that information. Now, why? Why do you think that people aren't like just super excited or tripping over themselves about letting you know that they have a real estate need? Why do you think that they're not reaching, they're not coming to you like that?
I guess they're not sure where to start.
They're not sure where to start, right? What else? Why do you think people that they're not coming to you like, oh, you're the solution, like you the savior. You're the one that's gonna help. Why do you think
People are skeptical of fraud too.
Exactly. They skeptical of fraud. People don't know you, right?
Yeah,
Oh, that's true too. And this is like one of the biggest purchases you will make like in your life. Like, so you don't want to go with somebody who gonna mess it up.
Absolutely. So people don't, they this, like you said, is one of the biggest financial decisions that they're gonna make. Can you really get it done? They skeptical, right? They don't mean nothing by it. They love you, but are they really good enough? I don't know. Some people come to you, they don't want you in their business.
That's it.
They feel more comfortable with a stranger being in their business than you being in their business. Right? So that's why they won't come to you and say. Some people, you know, just like we can get in our own way, they get in their own way, right? So it just ain't crossed their mind to reach out to you about it. They'll just tackle the problem themselves, and it doesn't even cross their mind that, hey, you know what? If I just reached out to Valerie about this, it probably saved me some time and some energy. They don't even think about it. Whatever the reason is. What I'm saying is the majority of the marketplace, they don't come to you. You have to put something out there to trap them. You gotta trick them. You gotta trick them into raising their hands, right? And how do you do that? By throwing something out into the marketplace that they may find valuable. And then when you throw that out into the marketplace and they may find that valuable, then what it does is it forces them to let you know. Because for them to get that thing that they see as valuable, for them to get access to it, they're in the same way making you aware of what their need is. I'll give you an example. If somebody sees this flyer and they're not sure if they're ready to buy a house. And they're like, oh, this right here, this event will help me get some clarity on if I'm ready to buy a house. So if they say, all right, well, David, look, you got this event, I'm gonna come to the event. Then they're also telling you they thinking about buying a house. They didn't say it, they didn't have to say it directly. So we do the pre-home buyer session every month to flesh out people that are thinking about buying a house, but didn't want to tell you. So you can, again, you can use this thing that we're doing. You don't even have to do it. See, like when I got into real estate, I had to do this stuff, right? My broker wasn't doing holiday parties that I can invite my clients to. I had to do the client stuff. My broker wasn't putting together these workshops, these informational sessions or these educational sessions or whatever that I could, all I had to do was go out there and invite as many people to it, use it as a way to attract business. My broker wasn't doing that stuff. I had to do it, right? This is why I do it, because when I was licensed, it wasn't nobody, it was. And I was like, man, it shouldn't be this difficult. I mean, if all I had to do was spend my time and my energy going out there and making as many people aware of the fact that I do business and reminding as many people that I do business, if all I had to do was that, and I had these tools and these resources that I could use to help me attract as I'm going out there and taking that kind of action, if I could have had that, oh man, the sky's the limit. I mean, I'm successful in real estate, but man, it'd have been out the roof if I'd have had these kind of things in place. So that's why I do it. That's why we do it, because that's all I want y'all to be focused on. Because I know that's the secret to success. It's people. We're in the people business. The more people that you engage, the more people that you make aware, the more people that you remind, the more money you're gonna make, the more successful you're gonna be. So we're gonna take care of the heavy lifting, the creativity, the resources, all that other stuff. We'll handle all of that. I'll handle all of that. I'm gonna give you the weapons. I'm gonna give you the tools. I just need you to go get on the battlefield. And you go out there and you go get some people. You go tell these people. So the pre-home buyer session is a great way to identify buyer leads, buyer prospects, to attract buyer prospects. But it's going to require you to put your hook in the water. It's like you going out there fishing. Well, you ain't going to catch no fish if you ain't got your worm in the water. Or if y'all do like me, well, I'm pulling my line out the water every 2 seconds. I ain't gonna never catch no fish because I keep pulling the line out of the water. You got to go out there and you got to do it, and you got to be consistent. And see, consistency, I'm gonna really talk about that next on the 25th. Because, you know, consistency is that secret, man, it's that secret sauce. It's that special herb and spice. Who talk about the special herb and spices? Popeyes? Somebody said they got special herb and spices. Churches? Oh, that's racist. Herb and spices. Herbs and spices. All right. But consistency is that thing that triggers it all, right? It's that consistency. KFC got the herbs and spices. But the pre-home buyer session is, we even have the little flyers in the office. So again, you could use it for your people that have reached out to you in the past that said that they're thinking about it. The pre-home buyer session is an opportunity for you to call them, for you to text them, for you to email them and say, oh, we had talked about you buying a house. We got this pre-home buyer session coming up, right? I think you should attend. By the way, how is that coming with your own buying process, right? See, it gives you that segue into the additional conversation, right? Or you can come up here and get some of these flyers. You can go to the buildings, or you can go to an apartment complex, or you can go to your neighborhood, or you can go to your church, or you can go wherever you want to go and invite and meet new people. You can meet new people by letting them know that we had this pre-home buyer session going on, right? You're doing two things. Number one, you're making new people aware of the fact that you do real estate, right? Because what's going to come out of those conversations is, oh, they may not be looking to buy a house, but they may be looking to sell a house, or maybe looking to lease a house, or maybe looking to lease an apartment, or they may be looking for a commercial building, or it's a plethora of things that can come from it. but you got to put yourself in position. So we're saying, go get in position, and here's some tools that you can use while you're in a position to increase your chances of the kind of results that you're looking for, right? So the pre-home buyer session is, if you're not using the pre-home buyer session to attract business, then you're overthinking it, right? And this is something that you can do every month. You're overthinking it. You're trying to be too creative, right? Stick to the basics. There are things that you already have access to. Use those to make as many people as possible aware of the fact that you do real estate, and to remind as many people as possible. And you want to constantly be growing that pool, right? So the people that you remind and say it's 100 people. Well, next month, because you've been meeting new people, that 100 should go to 150. Now you got 150 people that you reminded, right? All right, but then a month after that, all right, now that 150 should grow to 170.
Mhm.
And a month later, it should grow to 215 that you reminded. Then you go meet some new people. Now that should be at 245. Like, that's how it should look. Like, it shouldn't be, I'm at 100. It's January, I'm at 100. February, I'm at 99. March, I'm at 101. April, I'm at 103. May, I'm back to 99. Like, it shouldn't look like that. It should be trending. It should be always adding. Again, if what I'm telling you, what you need to be doing every day is making more people aware and reminding people, then that number gets more and more every month. Common sense tells me that number gets more and more every month. Now, how does the number not get more and more every month? Is when you're not going out there meeting new people and you're not reminding people. That's how the number doesn't get more and more. Brenda, you got your hand up?
Yeah. Well, question is, so this pre-home buyer session, is it only for first-time home buyers? Or is it for somebody, I think you mentioned a few minutes ago, that may already own a house, but they might want to buy a second property? Or should
It's
they
for-
take this class too, or what? Or
Look.
investment property?
Listen, Brenda, it ain't about the class. Who cares about the class? It's for whoever pays attention. That's what, see, this right here is your bait. It's the bait, B-A-I-T. It's the bait, right? So
Mhm.
what you want to do is you want to cast a wide net. It's kind of like when, what do they do that? I know I've seen it on TV where the fishermen, and they'll throw the net and then they reel the net in and
Yeah.
look to see what they got caught in the net, right?
Mhm.
That's what this is. The pre-home buyer session is your net, right? We're doing our next one January 21st. So that means you got, what, if my math is correct, 18 days, 17 days.
Mhm.
17 days before the next pre-home buyer session. So you could take this information, take the flyer, cast the net, text message, text people, email people, social media, meeting people in the street, passing out flyers. You casting the net. You just casting it, throwing it out there. And then when you reel it in, you make it first-time buyers. You may get people wanting to sell. You may get people thinking about investing. You may get people wanting to rent. Like, you don't know what's going to come in the net. You see what I'm saying, Brett?
Yeah, yeah.
So it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is casting the net. And then, and again, remember the terms that I'm using. Attract business. How successful real estate agents attract business. This is how you attract it, by throwing stuff into the marketplace and allowing it to be a magnet to draw business opportunities to you.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying?
So this is also on Zoom, if they wanted to go on Zoom. I see it says virtual or virtual Zoom class as well?
Yep. It's in person and it's on Zoom. It's all of that.
It's on Zoom, okay.
It's all of that, yeah. Good question. Who else has a question?
Mhm.
Okay, good. All right. So you see, that's what I'm saying. Like I only got through two concepts, but it's so much more. That's why I encourage you to go to Serum, right? Because I got videos for days. Matter of fact, these different concepts that I'm talking about, I think I did a video for the pre-home buyer session on how to use it and leverage it. I got videos for days. But this is what I want to do, because I want this to be, I'm all about utilization when it comes to these trainings, and we only got about 30 minutes left. So I've given you a lot. I've given you a whole lot, actually. But it's all for nothing. Like it's all a waste of time. It's all a waste of your time. It's all a waste of my time if you do not utilize the information that I've gave you. So I want to do things within the trainings that will initiate, right? Or that will contribute to utilization. So we have an exercise. We have an exercise. And yes, I do want crowd participation. All right. I want you to, based on you, okay? Based on you, based on your business, based on how you like doing business, based on your specific circumstances, I want you to design a strategy to attract business. I want you to write it down. If you got your journal out, write it in your journal. And I want you to take 10 minutes, 10 intentional minutes for you to think about a strategy that you could utilize that will make as many people as possible aware of the fact that you do real estate, and that reminds as many people as possible of the fact that you do real estate. And then in 10 minutes, I want you to share with me what you came up with. So pull your journals out, and I want you to write out, taking you, who you are, what you like, what your setup is as far as the people that you have, what we've discussed. A couple of the examples that I've given you are the examples that you know already, because there are plenty of examples that you already know. And I want you to come up with something that you could implement. And matter of fact, something that you could implement immediately. Like right now. All right, 10 minutes, people.
You said just one thing, Michael?
Yeah, start with one, but I mean, if you come up with more. However many you can get in 10 minutes. Work. It's not. I'm gonna get started in about 5 minutes. Okay, starting in about 5 minutes. All right, so I asked All right, people. All right. How was that exercise? Who wants to share? What y'all come up with?
I can go.
Okay.
I came up with a couple. One of them is, the regular make weekly posts on Instagram and Facebook, attend your builder tours, wear my name tag as I go throughout my day, inviting people to home buyer workshops, and do the customer appreciation holiday party, provide quarterly customer service to my previous clients, go to networking events, sponsor a little league team, sponsor a breakfast at an HOA meeting, ask for testimonials, schedule a meeting with churches to host a real estate fair and send out mailers, and leave my business card at local businesses.
Okay. All right. So now give me one. That's a great job. It's a very exhaustive list. It's a lot of stuff that you can do on there. So what I would do is I would take that list, I would look at it, and then I would prioritize it. And I would say, which of these gives me the greatest potential as related to those? Which of these? And so I would look at it. So like, and then I would prioritize the list according to that, right? Like that. Now, if you look at your list right now, tell me which one you feel like gives the most. Like that should be able to jump off the page. In your mind, your life, which on that list now would be the most, has the most potential to give you big returns?
I would say make my weekly posts on Instagram and Facebook. Okay. And I also would say there's three. The wear my tag, my name tag, and then attend the builder tours.
Okay. All right. So you said a builder course?
The tours, like going to the
tours.
Like tomorrow, the tours.
Yes. Okay. So tell me why you said that those give you the biggest potential. I'm curious.
Because I'll say like usually when because I've been in it for 2 years, and when I make posts on Instagram or Facebook, I normally will gain a client. And I'm saying client, not a customer. So
okay.
I
got you.
And I'll say wearing my name tag throughout the day, because if people see my name tag, that's the icebreaker right there. And sometimes they'll ask, something about real estate. So it makes it an easier conversation piece. And then attend the builder tours. That'll be something that's different, but I know people are coming to see the homes with a purpose. So I feel once I get in good and host these open houses, then I believe that I will have a good return.
I agree with you on all of them, right? So this is what I would do, right? So since you've determined that those were the top three, and I agree with you, I would actually take them and I would put them together. This is what I mean by that. All right. So you got the badge, and then I would add one element to the badge. I would add the R as well. So wearing your badge and your R every day, because the combination of them both, ultimately what it is that you're wanting to do is that you are wanting to make it easier to spark a conversation with someone, right? So doing the badge and the R, all right? Now, when it comes to the builder tours and the open houses, right? Again, we talked about consistency. So if you say you decide, all right, every weekend, I'm going to participate in a tour or open house, all right? Well, now what you've done is that you've given yourself some content every week for you to post on Instagram.
Yeah, that's
right. So now you got the two, and you can actually merge those two together to create one. So it's the weekly posts and attendance of the builder tours. Right. So now when you were getting the clients on social media, how many times per week were you posting?
I wasn't keeping track of that. But I can say I wasn't posting a lot because I'm not into social media. I'm doing better, but like I made my first reel. I'm so proud of myself.
Okay, so
It
now
wasn't
I
about
want
real
you,
estate, but it was my first one. I was trying it out.
do you want to be into social media?
I do because it seems like that's where my business is coming from, even though it's with my sphere. But once I put it out there and my sphere sees it, they respond to that.
Okay, well then stop saying that you're not into it.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not into social media. You're gonna act like a person. You're gonna believe like a person. You're gonna, it's a person that's not into social media. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So stop saying
Mm-hmm.
if that's not what you want. And that's the results of a person that's not into social media. But that ain't what you want. You want the results of a person that is into social media. So that means you have to become the thing that produces the results that you want.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have to be the person that is in the social media.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and that's a decision. So you just got to choose that today.
Okay.
All right. So now that you are a person that's in the social media, right? At least the builder thing that's at least once per week. That's at least one piece of content per week with the builder thing, right? Depending on who you talk to, you get different responses as relates to how often you need to be on social media. Here's the reality. You need to be on it as often as you have the capacity to be on it, to be honest with you. If you're able to be on it every day, you need to be on it every day. If you're able to be on it multiple times every day, then you need to do that, because social media is a very effective platform to generate business as you socialize and as you post media. This is where we run into is our capacity to the extent to where we can afford to be on social media every day or multiple times a day. And if you can't, don't force the issue. You just go to the extent that you can, and then that's how you determine and dictate how often that you're on it.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
All right, perfect. All right, well, good. Good job, Nichelle. Who wants to go next?
Well, basically, I'm pretty much saying the same thing that she is, basically. The one thing was to continue to call the spheres, talking to a few people, letting them know. I was going to join an exercise group at the YMCA so I can make new relationships with people, so I can tell them that I'm a real estate agent. Tell the neighbors. My neighbors don't know that I'm in real estate again. I haven't told them, and I know I haven't. And I like the idea of what the lady said earlier about putting a sign.
Oh, Ron, yeah.
In front of her house or whatever. I thought that was a good idea, because then all the neighbors would think we're selling our home, and then they're going to be nosy.
Yeah,
that right there.
Great idea. Great idea.
And then, of course, I think I mentioned this to you about going to the office more, inside the office more. This gives me a little more inspiration, makes me feel like I'm getting out, giving me more confidence, and take some of those buyer cards from you guys and then just mail them to people, or just to let people know for sure that there is a buyer class. Many people think the class is only for first-time home buyers. That's why I asked you that question earlier, and they say, oh, I already know, like that, and
but this is what I would do, Brenda. If you get that response, like you put it in front of somebody and they say, well, I'm not a first-time home buyer, I'm already know, then are you in the market?
Okay, that's yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
see, that's what I'm saying. It's not really about them going to the class. It's about using it to open up the conversation so we can explore it some more. If they already know about that, it's first-time homebuyer class. I say, okay, well, are you in the market? They say, well, no, I'm not in the market right now. All right, well, do you who do you know that's in the market?
Yeah.
Right. See, we can kind of continue to go layers deep to
Mhm.
put yourself in a position to, again, attract business, which is what the point is.
Right, right.
Keep going.
And then the thing of, I had started previewing homes for some potential clients last week, and I forgot to take videos of once I got inside, I said, oh, I forgot that. But yeah, continue to do that, and then just put some information on my social media about those particular.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna ask you the same, or I'm gonna tell you the same thing that I told Nichelle. Like, look at your list, and then obviously prioritize it as it relates to potential, which has the greatest potential, or which has the potential for the greatest results. And then, do that. You can do that later. But now I want you to tell me, when you look at your list, which one has the most potential for the biggest results in your business that's currently on your list? Brent, you there, Brenda?
What thing?
Okay, I lost you. All right, say it again. You froze on me, Brenda.
Oh, okay. I said the relationship. Oh, wait a minute. It said my internet connection is unstable. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, just join an exercise group at the Y, making new connections with people. I think that might be something that might be important to generate business.
Okay.
Because a lot of people I call on a regular basis, and they know,
Yeah.
and getting back to the kind of negative view of it or whatever, that the negative thing that they may say to me does put me off.
But have they ever said it?
Yeah, they have said it.
What they say?
When January comes, it's almost in an attitude that is, oh, you're calling me again. Okay.
What are you calling and saying?
Well, I called somebody and I told her, this is the end of the year. Happy New Year. Are you still interested in, getting the house or whatever? That was in December. And she did say, well, let's just wait until January. I got people here, but just.
Yeah, but Brenda, I'm sorry, Brenda, I don't hear anything negative about that response though.
Brenda's head felt something negative.
Oh, okay. There we go. I need Brenda to sit down somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, So I think out of the 10 to 12 things I have listed here, I would choose making those relationships with people.
At the Y? You talking about joining the Y?
I'm already a member. I just haven't been going.
Okay, so you're saying that by being more consistent with your attendance at the Y?
Yeah, just forming more relationships, because I have been keeping in touch with a lot of people over time.
Okay.
So I need.
Okay, so you're telling me, I guess, just so I can get clarity on what is the most, which one has the greatest potential for you.
Mhm.
Are you saying, because before you mentioned joining the class at the Y, so it's not that, it's nurturing your current relationships.
Yeah, nurturing my current relationships, and again, the social media thing, attending, previewing homes, and
Well, now I only want one thing, Brenda. That's why you're confusing me. What's the thing? What's the one thing that has the greatest potential?
What's the one thing
on your list?
Yes, in today's society, it might be the social media, but I'm not sure. I mean, I'm kind of confused too, I guess.
Okay, so this is what I'm asking you, right? I'm asking, there's activities that you could do on a daily basis. Now we determined they're either going to make as many people as possible aware, or they're going to remind as many people as possible. So on your list, which of those activities has the greatest potential to remind the most people or to make the most people aware of the fact that you?
So the calling people and reminding them that I'm a real estate agent.
Okay.
The touches. Yeah,
Boom.
that
All
would
right.
be the most potential. Yeah,
All right. So leveraging and nurturing your sphere of influence.
right. Yeah.
So what I would do is, have you ever sat down and put together like a calendar?
I started one. Yes.
You know, matter of fact, you know what I think would be good for you? I'm finna share my screen. If you go to
I started something online before. I did.
yeah. So did you participate with when Chantel Froelich from Fidelity National Title did her presentation?
Yeah, I did. She brought a book in. Did she bring
Yes.
a book in for everybody? But I never
She
got the book. Yeah, yeah, she left a few books at the office, but I never got one. I know what you're talking.
Okay. So if you go to michaelgdavis.com, you have an account there?
I believe so.
All right, and you go to client tools. I think this will be perfect for you, especially because it's a great way to stay engaged with your sphere. So on here, she had, let's see.
Oh, this may be somebody else then. She came in the office and did a tutorial. Tutorial.
All right. I think it's under coaching exercises. Yeah. So inside of coaching exercises,
Oh, I can just take a photo of that, can I?
right here, example real estate activities. I think it's
Okay, let me just.
go. So
yeah, the birthday book.
Yeah. I think if you implemented that process for your sphere of influence, especially since you've determined that this has the greatest potential, then this is an easy way to formalize it so you can be more effective in your execution.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So if I were giving out homework today, that would be your homework. For you to go and build you a birthday book and a project book. That video's in that folder as well, so you can actually relook at the video to get a refresher on what she talked about.
Okay.
But that's a great way to have something consistent in place where you're consistently touching and nurturing your sphere of influence. Okay?
Okay.
All right. All right. One more person who wants to go.
I'll go, Michael. It's Ranielle.
Okay.
So I pretty much doing what the first two people said, but I was thinking, what if I could set up an automatic email on my Google Calendar to go out to my contacts?
All right. So let me ask you this question. How do you feel about getting emails?
Well, I know that from the emails that I get, sometimes they're irritating. Other times I have used a lot of the emails for business. So I've seen an email repetitive. Like, man, but however, I wind up joining Orange Theory because it was in my psyche.
Right, but but that feeling that you have for Orange Theory, is that the kind of feeling that you want people to have for you?
Well, maybe at first they may not like it, but then they'll grow to love it. Yes, I'll take that chance because one person, okay, I might have 10 that don't like it, but I might get 1 or 2 people that do love it. It's just something different.
Well, this is my thought process around it.
Okay.
The best thing is to have multiple activities churning, right? So ideally, like Brenda said she had 12 things on her list. So under the most ideal circumstances, it's all 12 of those things are being done in her business as a way to.
Oh yes, that was just something extra. That I am doing those things. Yes, absolutely.
Ranielle, let me finish.
I'm sorry.
I was not finished. All right.
You know me, Michael. I'm sorry.
All right. So under ideal circumstances, you want to get to the point to where you got all of them going, right? Even with Nichelle had a list of things, right? So you want to get to the point to where you have all of them employed, right? Well, the way you want to get there though is that you don't want to get there all at once. You You know, there's a great quote that Gary Keller wrote in his book, The One Thing, and he says, success is sequential, not simultaneous. So to successfully get all things being implemented, all 12 things being implemented, we can't try to implement them all at the same time. So that's why I told them, find the ones that are the most, that have the most potential, meaning that are going to give you the greatest result once employed. Like once it's going, once it's doing it, right? So Brenda talked about her sphere. So once she has the birthday book going and she's doing it on a consistent basis, boom, it's in there. Nichelle talked about the tours. So once she's going on the tours every week, she's posting every week, she's got her R, she's got her badge on. You know, she felt like those were the ones that were going to get her the greatest return or the greatest response, right? So once you get those going and you begin to build momentum in those, then we start working on the other ones. So what I would say for you, Roniel, is again, if you got a list, identify the ones that you believe will give you the greatest, that could give the greatest impact, that could give you the greatest, like could make the most amount of people aware, that could remind the most amount of people. Figure out what that is, right? Take the list and prioritize it in that manner. Then wherever the email falls in, right? Then at that point, we employ the email, right? So it's not a matter of to do it or not to do it. It's a matter of when to do it, like when to put energy into building it out. Because like with the email, you know, like you said, what attracted you was at some point, well, it was a couple of things. It was the repetitiveness of seeing the email, but also you said some people send you emails and you find value in the email, right? So ideally what you want to do is that, yeah, you want to create the system where the email goes out so you can capitalize on the repetitiveness of it, but let's capitalize on the repetitiveness of it with something of value every time they get the email. You see what I'm saying? So now it's not just, oh man, Roniel keeps sending me these damn emails. It's, man, Roniel keeps sending me these damn emails because they're so valuable. You understand what I'm saying? Like you want that energy. That's the kind of energy you want when you get it. So I don't know, did that answer your question? It did. All right, well, good, man. Well, look, like I said, we're gonna be doing this one again because I left so much on the table, it's crazy. I couldn't even get to all of it. And I still went over. How crazy is that? I didn't even get close to everything and I still went over in time. Y'all just got lucky today because I'm supposed to be doing orientation, but ain't nobody came in here yet. But yeah. Oh, Nichelle on the camera right now. You supposed to be at orientation, Nichelle. Where you at?
I just sent Shay a text message.
Sad. See, I'm here waiting on. I'm here waiting, ready for you. Opportunity is here, Nichelle.
I know.
I guess we got to get you on the third one. Nah, she's sitting right here. How she gonna come to orientation? Her blinds behind her.
So look, this one had real. Okay, I was on my way to the office, and then I had like a little mishap. So I said, well, let me just go back home, and I won't miss none because I don't know if you noticed, but I wasn't even on for the entire duration of this. I said, okay, I'm gonna have to get the recording. Yeah. But I was like, man, I said all this stuff, but I'm determined. I'm not about to let nothing, I'm determined.
You're determined. All right. So we're gonna see. So I guess I'm gonna see you the third Wednesday then.
Yeah, the third. What's that, next week?
The following week.
The following week. Okay.
I need you to come to orientation, Nisha, and any of you other ones that have not come to orientation. I need y'all to come to orientation. January 18th, Nichelle.
January 18th. Okay.
Yeah, January 18th at 2 p.m.
Okay.
All right. And then look, y'all take advantage. Y'all do the group coaching.
The orientation is face-to-face?
Yes. So we do so many things virtual, but that's the one thing that I won't do it. No, you need to come in. Need to get my energy. Get in.
I know. I'm all ready. See, I got a whole dress on and everything.
You was ready. You should have just kept driving. What
I
you-
had kids in the car.
No, they could have. I could have sat them. I could have sat them out there in the lobby. It'd been all right.
Well, yeah, I don't know about that little one.
Oh no, I'm good with kids. Man. I'm good. All right. So look, all right. Any other questions? Anybody got any questions before we officially wrap it up? And I look forward to seeing y'all on the 25th. Like I said, I got a whole lot more to give to you. I may have some slides.
I have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
Information about the brokerage service. What is the expiration date?
No expiration date.
What does that mean? So if somebody signed this form with me and it's been over a month and they elected to buy a house, what does that mean?
It don't mean anything. It's just that's a disclosure. That's not an agreement.
Oh, okay. So what is the agreement that you give people then?
That's the client broker loyalty agreement. That's in your real estate machine.
It is?
Mhm.
Okay, so when I turn somebody over to a client, I give this form and I give another form.
Yeah, the client broker loyalty agreement.
Okay, I get it. I just wanted to make sure, because I thought this was the only form that you give them. But it
No,
is.
ma'am. That's just a disclosure. That's just disclosing to the consumer
Okay.
what representation means.
Oh, I see.
And they're initialing it just saying that they looked at it.
Okay.
That's
So-
not an agreement between you and them.
Okay, I gotta make sure. I just wanted to make sure, because I gotta make sure I give them the correct information, the correct forms. Right? All right, thanks.
All right. All right, family. Well, look, I have a group coaching session tomorrow at 5:30, and I have another one at 9:30 on Friday. So take advantage of those sessions. We can get more into the nuts and bolts of things. And we can kind of go from there. So if y'all don't have anything else, man, y'all enjoy y'all Wednesday, and we'll be talking soon.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Bless you.
You
Bye-bye.
too.
Bye.
You're muted. You're muted, Valerie. What'd you say?
I was just saying, have a good evening.
Oh, okay.
Get somebody else to do it.
Get somebody else to do what?
Check your text. All right, I got a one-on-one with you coming up. Did you check?
Do you? You better.
Mhm.
My chat. I don't see nothing to check here.
No, your text.
Oh, my text. Oh, my phone over there.
Yeah, I have, and then I got a one-on-one coming up, so be ready, because I'm not.
Oh. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was. You should have.
No,
What's up?
stop. Get somebody else to do it.
Oh,
So
my goodness.
get ready for our meeting, because I'm not ready. I just want you to know I ain't ready.
All right, I'm gonna be ready. I'm gonna get you ready.
Can you
got
tell
time
me what
to-
I need to do to be ready? Like what I need to do?
You didn't write your homework down?
Huh?
You didn't write your homework down?
That was a long time ago.
It wasn't that long ago.
That was a long time ago.
Let me see how long ago it was. I'm looking. I'm pulling your file up.
I thought I wrote it down somewhere.
Like, where your journal at, Valerie?
I have so many.
Oh, I'm supposed to be doing orientation.
Rhonda ain't hung up. Rhonda, are you eavesdropping on our conversation?
Yeah, Rhonda trying to see what we talking about.
Oh, I'm hanging up. Have a good one, Val. Have a good one, Mike.
No, we just messing
Anybody
with you. Rhonda, she just messing with you. Don't pay Valerie no mind.
You know, I'll be listening for the notes that's being dropped at the last minute or anything. So
I know. Don't. That's what I'm saying. Don't pay Valerie no mind. Don't let her send you nowhere. You can stay on as long as you want, Wanda. Nobody worried about Valerie. All right. So, Valerie, you look. So, like when we meet again, we gonna be. It's gonna be more like a get back right meeting. So you ain't gotta do nothing to prepare for it.
Okay, gotcha.
The most important thing is not The most important is the meetings after the first meeting, like that meeting, staying consistent with the other meetings.
Okay.
All right.
All right. I'm ready.
See you
Let's do this.
later.
Peace out.
All right, bye.